They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state dedicated.
The deep state is showing its colors, from the bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., the Democrats, the Rhino Republicans, which is a vast majority of the Republicans. And now we're seeing it coming from governors, we're seeing it coming from state attorney generals, and we're seeing it coming from federal judges all across the fruited plain. Any judge anywhere can now stop the president from doing anything, anytime they want. So they think, so they say. Unbelievable. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Sunday Night Live. This is the zoo. We've got the preparedmind.club, YouTube, X, subscribestar.com, Facebook, and all of social media. We're out there hitting, folks. I don't know which one you're on, but you are invited to comment down below. You just have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes. The other thing, hey, if you've got something to say, we've got a super chat button up there down below. PayPal, CashApp, Venmo, and that funds the channel, folks. It keeps the lights on in the studio, keeps the spam, the tuna fish in the pantry, keeps us prepared, and also, well, doing well with scotch. I want to start with a story, and then we're going to get into, folks, we're going to get into SHTF. I want to know what you guys want to talk about right up there. Sunday Night Live. Let's do it. But I'm going to start with something I want to talk about. I've got two, not one, but two $50 plus super chats we're going to start with, and then we'll get to everyone. Everybody's got a chance. Sunday Night Live to wake up everyone. Wake up your friends. Wake up your family. Wake up your coworkers. Hell, wake up people you can't fucking stand and throw facts, truth in their face. But this show really is just, well, we do talk about facts. We offer some opinions, but you guys get to choose for yourself. What do you want to believe? Are you going to believe the television media? Are you going to believe politicians? Oh, yeah, they're that. Are you going to believe special interest groups running commercials? Or are you going to believe your own thoughts? Now, let's do it. Let's get into it. Gavin Newsom. That's right. Wah Gavin in California. The governor says, quote, "It's appalling. It's un-American." What is he saying is appalling and un-American? Well, President Trump ordering California National Guard troops to go to Portland. How is that un-American? If sending state resources out of California into Oregon is un-American, when I was living in California, back in the 20-teens, we had a fire that burned millions of acres of old growth and regular forest and new growth and this forest and that forest, millions of acres. At least two cities burned down, folks. The two that were closest to me, Taylorsville and Greenville, burned to the ground. Gavin Newsom sent California firefighting equipment and personnel to Oregon to help Oregon and let us up north burn. You motherfucking new scum. He is a little bitch. So, and he wants to complain about Trump, right? Well, that's right. A judge in Oregon ruled, a little teeny weeny tiny piece of shit worthless fucking judge ruled that the president of the United States, the commander in chief, when he sees out of control violence, he can call in the National Guard the same way other presidents in the past have, including Democrats. But not now. Oh, no. It's appalling. Right? Who gives a fuck what Gavin Newsom thinks? Right? He let all of that forest burn. He let billions of dollars worth of homes burn in Southern California. So a big F you to Gavin. Literally, folks, the brain virus, the woke mind virus is also the zombie virus, and it comes from the Jim Jones juice. It is chewing their fucking brains away. And if you, for some reason, were persuaded to take the Jim Jones juice, you know, the VAXXX, I recommend a strong detoxification program. Find one, research them, look into them, and detox and make sure you get that shit out of your brains, out of your hearts, out of your lungs, All right, everybody. We took one hell of a hit. Ho. Let's hear it for Florida. And let's hear it for Florida. And lightning. Man, we're live. We're hot. We're good. Excellente. Let us continue if we shall. It is time to get into some super chat donations. We're going to start with, let's start with Chin Music. And boy, was that a big lightning hit. I don't know if you guys heard it before it took us out. 50 or 18-year Glenfiddich single malt scotch right away. And Chin Music is checking in. Wait a moment. Ooh, that is very good. Very nice. But I don't have a Chin Music. I don't have a Chin Music question quote. So I'm going to switch over to Darcy T. And she does have her information in. She says, here's my question comment for tonight's zoo. And you're going to love this one, folks. We're now hearing all about attacks on houses of worship around the world. Most recently, a synagogue and a mosque in the United Kingdom. What are the odds that the result of such attacks will be sweeping laws that will promote selected religions and further curtail the rights of Christians? Well, I've got to tell you, the odds are 100% in my opinion. In America, we're not burning down any mosques, nor are synagogues being burned down. But Christian churches, well, they've burned, and then we've had Christians attacked. Catholic, Protestant, doesn't matter. We've had them vandalized, and the Muslims think it's okay to vandalize. That's their First Amendment free speech. You bet. And so over in England, a synagogue, some killings, some murders happened at a synagogue. And I don't know anything about a mosque, right, being damaged or burned or attacked. But it's coming. So what I see is religion being used as the fuel to just power the anger and hatred that the other religions have. Because in America, we are not attacking, the Christians aren't, anyone else. But Christians, particularly male Christians, and particularly white male Christians, are being targeted literally. We're being villainized, demonized literally. We're being said that we are the greatest threat to American safety and law and order, and it's all bullshit. But that is the attack that's going on. They want us to fight each other. They want us to fight each other. This is divide and conquer, folks. This is split us up. But also they put people who cannot be put together. Red ants and black ants, folks. You cannot mix Muslims with Christians. As soon as the Muslim population is up high enough, they start their shit, and it has begun. And we've been warning about it for years because we've seen what happened in England, Ireland, France, the Netherlands, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Austria. Have I said enough? Sweden, Norway, Finland. All of Scandinavia is covered in these turban-headed scumbags who worship a child molester. Now, have I said go kill them? Have I said be violent? Have I said attack their mosques? No. But this is coming. In addition to the political bifurcation, in addition to the gender bifurcation, the LGBT pedophile split in the country, right? They've made it a them and us. And I guess that's how it should be there. But we're not calling for their death. Everyone is calling for the American conservative patriots' death. Yes, indeed, Darcy T. We're hearing about it and we're seeing it, and it is getting nasty, and it's time to fix it. Right? Income inequality, the difference in the different generations, they're pitting us against each other. It's going to get nasty. Going to get nasty. Anyways, Darcy T did a $50 super chat, and we've got we've got a the chin music. He did a $52.23. That's a $50 plus a 223 super chat donation, and we'll get his in here and get started pretty darn quick. But let's do this. Who out there has something they want to talk about? Everyone, thumbs up the video. Everyone, share the internet address. This is live. Everyone is here live. That's why we call it the Zoo. And we're going to have some fun. Mr. Uman, who out there in the audience has something to say? And it is Dan the Man Erickson with a $5 super chat donation. And he says, watching fuck around and find out happening in Portland is priceless. Just taking the brown shirts down hard. Hope they come to Seattle. Oh, we're talking about actual law enforcement taking down Antifa, who are communists, who are used to having the police back them up. And we'll be talking about Chicago and anti-ICE. But for now, we're talking about Portland and Seattle. They're just across the river from each other, folks. Kind of like St. Paul and Minneapolis, or maybe Tampa and St. Petersburg, right? Twin city type action up there, just different states. In any event, what is going on in Portland has been, for me, somewhat refreshing. I want to see more of it. I want to see these clowns. Don't just stand there looking at them. Tell them to get off the street. Whether they're in front of the ICE building or anywhere else in the city, anywhere you see them, arrest them. They belong to a terrorist organization. The closest thing we have to a uniform is the black-clad, face-covered black hoodie. Arrest them on suspicion. They meet the description of a terror organization and a terror organization's foot soldiers. Arrest them. It is priceless watching what's going on, and the left is losing their minds, folks. They do not like this trash being taken out. It's almost like the Democrats want criminal behavior. It's almost like the Democrats want a militarized civilian force that is violent. Didn't Barack Hussein Obama say he wanted a civilian military? Do you remember that, Oliver? Way back during the Obama, Barry Soetoro, Hussein regime. He said he wanted a civilian military. He wanted people, and he's got it. He now has it between BLM, Antifa, and the Muslims out there. We now have it. Whatever you want attacked, you find whichever group is, well, most suited for, I'm sorry, I forgot, the LGB pedophiles. They have their own militant wing as well. Look out. The brown shirts. Dan calls them the brown shirts. Who were the brown shirts? Well, they were Hitler's muscle on the streets. When he wasn't using the SA or the SS, right? He just had hooligans running about causing trouble. But who were the brown shirts actually after and fighting with on a regular basis back in 1930s Germany? A little group called Antifa. So what Hitler did is he found out who was committing heinous crimes in the city. Well, Berlin, Frankfurt, Munich, right? All the cities. They found out who they were, and they went after them. They went to their homes. They went to their places of work. They arrested them and got rid of them. That's called law and order. But anyone who's a communist and wanted that type of takeover, kind of like we have today in Portland, in Chicago, all over the country, they scream and yell fascism. Well, we scream and yell communism. In both cases, I don't want them. I want law and order. And the only way to do it is to get these thugs off the street and get these thugs off of, you guessed it, the judicial bench. You can go right to the courtroom. You can arrest them. You can Bukele them. That's right. The president of El Salvador, President Bukele, he's continuing to use X, Twitter, to say, if you want to solve America's problems, you have got to get rid of the judicial dictatorship that has been built. The judiciary has been weaponized. It was weaponized before the election, going after Trump. Judges, district attorneys, special prosecutors, lying motherfuckers, people in NGOs funding them, backing them, judges making ridiculous rulings like that schmaltzy piece of worthless, slimy, hook-nosed Ergadon, and then Chutkin. And then you had prosecutors and attorney generals like Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, fat-ass Fannie Willis, and then that jackass fuckhead Smith, right? We know them. We know their names. We know what they did. They just need to be removed. So if Trump cannot use Oregon National Guard, he's going to use California National Guard. Good. Let's fix our problems. All right. Great start to the day. We've got Chin Music, who still owes us a question. We got Darcy T, and we've had Dan the Man on Super Chats. Mr. Uman, let's continue, shall we? What topics are out there? And we have, I love this name, The Unprepared Mind, with a $19.99 Super Chat donation. And folks, when we party like it's $19.99, the next party is not going to be alcohol and music. It's going to be the rat-tat-tat sound of a good time. So he says, he writes, even if at this point we can still vote our way out of this, it has to be paper ballots, and we get to write in the people we choose instead of this disgusting two-party system. Well, Mr. Unprepared Mind, I can't agree with you enough. Paper ballots, hand counted, but there needs to be a way to confirm who the candidates are. Now, I guess everyone can spell Trump a lot easier than they could spell Mandami, right? Yeah, he'd have a hard time getting voted in. Just like that other pinheaded jackass from Somalia and Minnesota. They're everywhere now, folks. They're running for office, and they're getting white, liberal, dumb fucks. Not to mention the black dumb fucks and the other Hispanic dumb fuck, any liberals, to vote for them, but especially the white liberals because of their guilt. Oh my God, I feel so guilty voting for a white person. I must vote for the retarded person from another fucking country who doesn't know the Constitution, is a liar and a fucking communist. And that's what we got. But in all seriousness, George Washington, first president under the Constitution, not the Articles of Confederation, the Constitution, first president, said that having political parties is a bad idea. Should not be done. We should not have political parties. Why? Because we end up with this shit we have now. What is good for America? Law and order. What is good for America? Limited government. What is good for America? People keeping their rights, their money, their property, etc. What is good for America? Making sure corporations don't fuck us over and steal from us. What is good for America? Making sure other countries do not invade us and ruin our economy, the safety of our cities, the sanctity of our churches. You got it, right? But yeah, here's the downside. Mr. Unprepared Mind. 6 months ago, when Trump first was in his first couple of months after being sworn in, I thought we might be able to vote our way out of this if he does and keeps doing all these great things, because he came out the gate running hard. But since then, not one Epstein client list. They didn't release the Epstein client list. We're getting into more foreign entanglements. Israel is buying our government. And we've got these left-wing lunatics pushing against us. The deep state. The deep state. Because of all of that. We're going to have a hell of a time getting out of this. I don't see us getting out. I don't see us getting out without a lot of blood being spilled. Anyways, if you've got something to say, folks, super chat donation button right up there. It's how we fund the channel on Sunday Night Live all through the week, right? We do live on X, and then we've got the preparedmind.club and subscribestar.com. But on Sunday, everyone is here, and I want to hear what you guys are thinking. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. And before we dig into this, the next real big stuff, I want to remind everyone that the Jim Jones juice is out there, and it is still poisoning people. Still. That's right. The Jim Jones juice. So good it's to die for. Well, folks, we've had another super athlete sadly died of a heart attack. Arthur Jones, 39. Well, do we know if it was the Jim Jones juice? They won't tell us. No, they always give us something. I guess he had some medical conditions, but, well, we're not going to see the end of this, folks. Not going to see the end of this. Now, an FBI agent has been fired for refusing to arrest and perp walk James Comey. This is an interesting story. James Comey, former head of the FBI, but still a giant lying sack of shit. So someone got fired for refusing to arrest him. He wasn't arrested by anyone else. How did he refuse? Let's just say, oh yeah, Dan Bongina got all tough and said, you go down and you go arrest James Comey right now. And the guy said, no, I ain't doing it. And he said, you're fired. Why didn't he turn to the next agent and tell him, and the next agent, and just keep firing him? Well, the FBI says, look, our policy is we don't arrest people and make a spectacle out of it. It's like, what did you do to Peter Navarro? What did you do to Roger Stone? What did you do with Trump? They sensationalized it. They splashed it everywhere. Oh, you bet. They fucking perp walked the fuck out of people, released mug shots. Fucking liars. Now, the FBI is also right now saying, hey, we may do a perp walk. We may go get James Comey and arrest him. They put that out there like, oh, okay, now you guys are the good guys in the FBI. They're a bunch of cowards, folks. I'm going to tell you right now, that Kash Patel does not run the FBI. Sadly, no. I don't believe he is as retarded as he's been acting and as incapable as he's been acting. I do not think Pam Bondi runs the Attorney General's office. There is something so nefarious that is hanging over everything that I can't put my finger on it unless I were to point to the devil himself. Do you know what it is? Can you guess what it is? Because I can't. I don't know what is stopping these people other than they've all been bought and they've all been threatened. And that's it. Even Trump himself. It's crazy business, folks. Absolutely crazy business. Right here. All right, Mr. Uman, let's do it. Who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? And we got, holy schnit, it's Bonnie Blue 2A. Where you been, Bonnie? $99.99 super chat donation. That is a big one, folks. And Bonnie, I'm glad to see you're back and that you're well, healthy, and I hope safe. You and your family. And I know this 18-year-old scotch is going to taste particularly well now that I know you are safe and back. And your family, I think you've got some family Florida or family in Florida. Anyways, Bonnie Blue, 2A, Semper Fi, God bless. Woo! She says, YouTube keeps blocking my messages, keeps prepping, keeps praying, keep building skill sets, pay attention to the season we are in and historical patterns and cycles. That is a great, great set of messages. Number one, YouTube is blocking messages. It is silencing messages. Listen to this. The music that accompanies our intros, our outros, our everything, YouTube is now saying that we're not allowed to use that. It's like, no, this is royalty free or stuff that is and has been licensed. In other words, we paid our money to be able to use some of these tunes, but now they're blocking it and saying, nope, you don't get to use that anymore. Okay, but the rest of Bonnie Blue's message, keep prepping. Folks, we aren't even close to being over. In fact, if I were to say anything, if you've got 1 month's worth of food stored up for safety, food and water, get 2. If you've got 2 months, get 5. If you've got 5 months worth of food, get a year's worth of food, a year's worth of water purification, water cleanup, whatever it takes. Get it. Go to thepreparedmind.club and start your shopping there. I don't care where you buy it. I don't care if you buy it from the companies we promote. You click on it, you go to their website. Right? I don't care where you get it, just get prepared. Bonnie Blue says, keep praying. Folks, I believe this is critical. I'm not pushing, I'm not evangelizing, I'm not preaching. What I'm saying is you've got to keep the faith. Faith in something bigger than us. Faith in something bigger than the Constitution. I always say our Constitution, the batting order for authority is God Almighty, human beings. Then we made the Constitution. The Constitution created the government, right? You've got to keep things in order. There is something bigger than us, because if we don't maintain a belief in something bigger than us that's worth fighting for and dying for, we're going to have a role switch where government goes, oh, government's number one, people are number two. And government owns us, tells us what to do, everything, as if they're not already trying. I know, I understand, folks. That is a big part of the battle. Bonnie Blue says, keep building skill sets. Now, if you just started prepping, you're getting your food, your water. You're understanding your shelter and how it is also protection from the elements, protection from attack, etc., right? And clothing, you got to have the right clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, skill sets. And skill sets come down to where you live. They come down to where you live. If you live in the city, a particular skill, right, might be repairing your house, having the raw materials for that around, helping your neighbors, etc., right? Skill sets, training with your firearms. The left-wing scumbags are now doing it. The communists, the Antifas, they have their John Brown Gun Club. The LGB pedophiles have their communist clubs. And they're communists, folks. They're communists. Communism and the concept of it and the use of it as a tool to bring a country under the control of nefarious scumbags has its roots in an ancient religion that comes from the Canaanites. Look into it, you'll discover it. But that is what they want. They want to control us. So you have got to understand who they are. They're training for violence. Communism loves gender swingers. They love other religions. They love anyone that they can turn into a militant force by, blaming you for all of their problems and then telling them to attack us and actually allowing it to happen. And then Bonnie says, pay attention to the season we are in. And she's not talking about the end of summer, beginning of fall. She's not talking about a cold winter or a hot summer. The season we are in. Historical patterns, right? Times are tough, so men get tougher. They beat the enemy. Things get better. They become great. People get lazy, slow, and then things get tough again because of lack of productivity and unproductive people, right? And when there's a lot of productivity, a lot of wealth, evil really works hard to move in and take control, take ownership, and screw everyone over. That is a historical pattern. That is a cyclical problem. Things go in cycles. Things get good, things get bad. Things get good, things get bad. Same with religions. Same with, oh yeah, folks, religions, politics, money. Everything has historical patterns and historical cycles. Even empires follow patterns and cycles. Understand where we're at. We've already topped out, folks. As Americans, the American empire, if you wish to use that term, we've peaked out and we're falling. We're doing the exact same thing the Romans did, the Persians did. Our money is doing the same thing the British did, the Portuguese did, the Dutch did, everybody, the English. But our money is now going down. It is losing the battle. Our moral character and fiber is coming down also. Every civilization, every empire reaches its zenith and then it goes downhill. It becomes decadent, lazy, perverted. And yes, the same people are behind it every fucking time. Right? Evil, satanic people. You don't hear about good people ruining a country. Good people fix a country, create a country, it grows. Anyways, Bonnie Blue, good to have you back. Good to know you're safe. I hope you're somewhere in the heartland, well prepared and set, and great advice, great subject. Woo! And the scotch is working. All right, let's do it. We got Mikey Cruz Jr. checking in, and he says, been watching you since you were in the old trailer, John. You're my favorite. Don't ever change, man. Hey, listen, Mikey. I was the same when I had my palatial mansion and ranch up in Northern California. And the same asshole that lived in that place, that lived in that fifth wheel for 5 freaking years broadcasting. And then going to the RMZ and then realizing, having an epiphany, you might say a religious experience in the jungle, that things were going to get nasty. And boy, howdy, did they get nasty, huh? We had Obama, Biden for 4 years, and now we've got Trump, who is basically getting handled like a puck in a hockey game, getting slapped around with sticks, whether it's judges or other bullshit. Oh, he's fighting back here and there, but he's taking a bunch of shit from Israel and taking a bunch of shit from Iran, taking a bunch of shit from Ukraine, taking a bunch of shit from the EU, from NATO. Why? And I know he gives a lot of shit too, folks. Yes, he does. Anyways, I'm glad that you've been here for a long old time, Mikey, and I appreciate the great support and encouragement. I keep going, I could just disappear, but I can't. I can't do it. Right? I have to be here. This is what I'm called to do for some strange reason. I'm not the biggest. I'm not the loudest. Well, maybe I'm the loudest, but what my goal is to wake people up. What's the best way to wake up? Oh, nice and slow with someone rubbing your feet and they hand you a cup of coffee, right? And you get to yawn and wake up. Take your time. Put some little slippers on your feet. Yeah, that's a nice way to wake up. What is happening in the world today is like a fucking slap to the face, a trash can, and a fucking stick banging on it. I woke up with that way a few times. A lot of times waking up that way. It is not a pleasant way to wake up, but there's a reason for it, right? As a Marine, they used to bang the trash cans, right? Why? To simulate an attack. You're sleeping in your bunk, and all of a sudden, I don't know, mortars, artillery, bombs, guns, something's going wrong. You've got to get up. You've got to be awake. You've got to get dressed. You got to go handle the problem. That's what it's like to wake up, to be red-pilled right now. It is a bang. It is a lot of noise. It is a slap to the face. And now you're like, what do I do? Well, if you're not prepared, get prepared. If you're not aware of what's happening, get aware. Get trained. Get prepped. Stay prepped. Take action. Wake others up. Okay. This was interesting. We got Lauren checking in. He says that background ceiling kind of looks like a sombrero. I didn't even see that, Lauren. See, you're paying attention here, amigo. All right, yeah, put on the sombrero. And the Democrats are losing their shit over that. Of all the things that anything, they'll complain about anything, but I do like my sombrero now that we're talking about it. All I need is the mustache, right? The mustache. Well, handlebar mustache. Well, anyways, I can't do that. This article did come up last week, and I never got to it, and nothing came of this. So why am I going to talk about it? Because it shows that the media is full of shit. They were reporting that the United States was providing Ukraine with intelligence for long-range missile strikes that were to go deep into Russia. Never happened. Well, if it did, who was going to benefit? The World Economic Forum. Yes. Israel, they would benefit. Yes. The EU and NATO, yes. Yes. The American people, no. No. Right? So was these other organizations, were they working together? Were they colluding? Were they conspiring to cause damage inside Russia and then blame the United States and say, we gave Ukraine the long-range missiles. We gave them the information, the intelligence. You see, it comes down to who benefits, who wants this. America, we don't want this shit. But apparently their little ruse failed, didn't it? It fucking failed. I tell you, folks. I tell you, there's so much going on. Chin Music, get in your stuff. Get this, folks. Up there he is. Chin Music, he says, man, the sins of the evil may not be as bad as the weakness of the good. Oh, good golly, I don't even know where to go with that, Chin. That's mighty philosophical. And Chin, right? Initially, that was going to be Chin Music Scotch, but it ended up becoming Darcy Teas. So Chin Music, now I get to enjoy this. It is an 18-year single malt Scotch whiskey, my friend. I got to keep the old gears lubed up and the pain killing down. So, what is worse? Evil or the good men that allow it? Well, the two go hand in hand. And I don't mean maybe the two go at it hand to hand. I think so. The only way for evil to win is for good men to do nothing. So if evil is winning, that means good men are doing nothing, right? It is bad when good men, and this includes women, fucking feminists ruin everything. When men and women do nothing, when they allow evil, that's bad. That makes it twice as worse. Because look how embedded now evil has become. Even though we did not see all the tranny bullshit coming, we didn't see all the illegal bullshit coming. We didn't see all of the gangs, the fucking Muslims, all of these groups that hate America. Antifa, we didn't see it coming really 30 years ago. Things started getting a little dicey under the Clintons. And then things got shitty after 9/11. We didn't see it coming. Or did we? Because then we got the Patriot Act and the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act. Things were shitty and fucked up. They started getting better. Well, we thought we could vote our way out of it. And then we got Obama. And he gave us Obamacare. He fucked us over. He sicked the Department of Homeland Security on old people, the Tea Party politicians, right? They just wanted to force government to be good. Do its job, be nice, leave us alone. Yeah, old Tea Party. It was a cute little meme political movement. And then Obama went after veterans. They said that we represent a risk, a terror risk. And now they're coming after folks. They've narrowed it down. They're coming after Christians, people who want to obey law and order. and they've taken the mask off and shown us how fucking ugly they are. They hate America. They want to burn America. They're fucking openly communist now. Openly communist in the Democrat Party. Mandami, the bug-eyed piece of shit in Minneapolis. They're openly communist. Wasn't there a law that said that couldn't be? And we have been fighting since Obama, since we started discovering, holy shit, they got homosexual, pedophile porn in schools, and the schools won't take them out of the libraries. And then the government sent in the FBI, sent in black helicopters, had people arrested, trying to uphold their evil. In other words, folks, evil that we see now, the fruit of it, Antifa, Islam, LGBT pedophiles, illegals, all of the evil, the judges, all of the evil in Washington, the bureaucrats, the faggots having sex, anal sex in the fucking Senate chambers, all of it, right? The treason, right? All of it. It didn't just happen overnight. It took not just days, weeks, and years, but it took decades of digging in and putting its roots down under the ground where we couldn't see them. And then a sprig comes up, right? A shoot. And we're like, hey, look at that. What the hell is that? And then now we're seeing the evil of it. We're seeing the evil of it. Right? Yeah, these Mexicans come across the border. They just want to work in agriculture. They just want to work in farming. They want the jobs Americans don't want. Years later, they're like, we want Aztlan, right? Mexico can take back everything from Texas all the way to the Pacific, as far north as Washington, and over to Colorado, right? They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You own our country. That's just the illegals. Then you get the Muslims. Oh, man, we just want to come here and we just want to do our little bit of stuff here and there. We're not going to bother nobody. We're friendly. We love America. And then here's their population. Here comes the money. Here comes the Muslim Brotherhood. Here comes CAIR, C-A-I-R, throwing money around, buying politicians, bringing in all their fucking illegals, all of their almost legals, all of their Biden legals. Now they're taking over and they're like, fuck America. We're going to come to your house. We're going to destroy everything. We're doing Sharia law. We're going to rape your women, steal your money. The fuck, right? Yeah, once that little green shoot poof, starts throwing fruit, we see it. And speaking of fruits, the LGBT people, we just want to come out of the closet. Yeah, we just want to be accepted and allowed in public. We just want to get married. That's all. We just want to get married to each other. We're not going to do anything. We just want to adopt children. We just want to make everyone choke this shit down and put it in school and start grooming children and raping babies. Oh, yeah, they do. The Democrats are like, we just want abortion, just, because what if rape and incest happened? Now they're like, fuck it. We kill babies and we love it and we worship Satan. They literally say these things. It's taken decades and even generations of communist undermining in this country, and here we are now. So by the time good people wake up, people like Chin Music, people like me, I woke up partially woke up in the 80s, but definitely woke up in the early 90s after my experience with how the deep state and the intel machine works. Right. Everyone's waking up. Slowly, some quickly, but the machine, the monstrosity that we're fighting has been around for decades. Going all the way back, folks, believe it or not, to the 50s, if not the 40s, right after World War II ended. Thank you very much, Chin Music. Folks, we're at 350 people live. I want 400 to 500 people live with us this week. It is going to get crazy and nasty. Things are going to get crazy and nasty. Share the internet address. Share it on X. Share it on YouTube. Everywhere you're at, share it. Get it out there. We need exposure, folks. We really do. These left-wingers are going to kill us. we are going to have not 1930s Germany with Nazis. We're going to have teens, 1920s, 1930s Soviet Union murder rates, where the Bolsheviks, who took their Talmudic communism to the fucking extreme and killed tens of millions of Russians, killed civilians, the militarized Bolshevik communists, tens of millions, not just 6 million Jews, not just a few 100,000 gypsies or whatever the fuck, tens of millions, folks. That's what communists do. Oh, John, you're grossly exaggerating everything, man. Come on, John. Oh, no. How about this? How about this for a modern day example? Trump calls for the piece of shit Democrat Attorney General. His name is Jay Jones. He says he needs to drop out of the race, a state race for Attorney General, over his leaked text messages. And what were his messages about? He fantasized, my friends, about killing children of conservatives. That's his fantasy. He's getting off thinking about children being killed. Trump wants him to drop out. Well, what, because of shame? Because he got his dignity back? Is that what we're supposed to believe? No, he won't drop out. He has zero integrity. He has zero shame. He has zero anything. He is a communist scumbag. And communists, they murder people gleefully, folks. Whatever it takes, they want to gleefully murder people. Whether you're Christian or white or Republican or conservative or just plain old American. Well, don't worry. Black conservatives, they'll murder you. Call you Uncle Tom fascists. Hispanics, oh, they'll find, look, it doesn't matter. If you're not one of them, they'll kill you. Same with the Muslims. The LGBTQ people, imagine if they ran the White House. Fuck, under Biden, they practically did. Under Biden, they practically ran the White House. They had that rainbow shit all over the White House. Flags, fucking colored lights. I'm surprised. Drag queens. I'm surprised that it didn't get worse than it was. I want to bring this up. I just got this message. The ADL, Anti-Defamation League, listed Charlie Kirk Turning Point as a hate group, and then they pulled it down. They pulled it down. Same with the Southern Poverty Law Center. What? Because they were calling Charlie Kirk and his group, calling Christians, calling white people dangerous threats, terrorist threats. And just the other day, the FBI said, you know what, enough of your shit. We're no longer associating with the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, or the Southern Poverty Law Center. I'm surprised they're not taking them back in. You know, a little call from old Bibi Netanyahu would fix that shit right up, don't you think? In any event, let's do this. Let's get back to you guys out there. Mr. Uman, who's got something to say? Who's got a super chat? Kapow. Let's read it. Let's go over the topic. Let's have some fun. Uh-oh. Just one. Let's do it. Yeah, that's just what I talked about, Mr. Uman. I just brought that up. Chin Music shot it to me as well. Yeah, not sure it needs to this. The ADL listed Charlie Kirk, right, as a hate group. So they can turn around and demonize all of us. They're calling for the murder of people like Charlie Kirk. They are now openly calling for it. They're laughing about it, celebrating it, and then saying they need to kill more. Even an attorney general nominee, you can guess his political party, Democrat. An attorney general nominee fantasizes about killing children. Unbelievable, unconscionable, intolerable, yet here it is right in our faces. It's right in our faces, all of their shit. The violence is coming. Uman has said in the past, well, you know, not in the winter. It's too fucking cold. Well, they're gearing up for the winter for some reason, aren't they? They're gearing up. Well, maybe they'll take it easy in Chicago, New York, Philly, Pittsburgh, because it's too cold, or maybe they won't give a shit. Anyways, let us continue if we shall, Mr. Uman. We're at the 1 hour mark, and Big Dan the Man is back with a $5 super chat. He says, "Hey, they did some nefarious, that means evil, folks, nefarious stuff. Trump's first term. At some point, want some law and order. I want some justice. I want the criminals, the treasonous criminals, arrested. We can't get it at that level, Dan. I want it. We all want it. We all know it needs to happen, but we're not getting it. We're not getting it, right? In fact, get this. I got some more information, folks. The Democrats at the state level, the local level, are beyond criminals, right? The police band is monitored by people. It's recorded by people, but their radio transmissions in Chicago revealed that the Chicago Police Department, which is controlled by Democrat socialist scumbags, the Chicago police were ordered, my friend, to stand down while federal agents were being ambushed by Antifa, BLM, anti-American, pro-Palestinian mentality, right? Get this, folks. ICE was being followed. They coordinated. They pinned them in, and they started throwing rocks, bottles, and even someone shooting at them with guns. They coordinated an attack and ambush and started killing people. And the Chicago Police Department said, "Don't get involved. Stay back. Stay away." Folks, this is beyond malfeasance of office. It's beyond malfeasance of office. It's intentionally allowing terrorism. Right? It's intentionally allowing terrorism to happen and to play out. Terrorism. Well, guess what? Chicago Police Department, the mayor's office, and even the governor, Prickster, Jabba the Prickster, it leaves them open for lawsuits. Just like in Uvalde, Texas. Does everyone remember that? Uvalde, Texas, there's a school shooting happen. It's in progress. Shooter going room to room, breaking in and trying to kill children. And the police, like a bunch of fucking yellow-bellied bitches, would not go in. School surveillance, watching them, standing around, not doing anything. They were sued, folks. Uvalde, Texas was sued for allowing children to be killed instead of the police confronting the school shooter. We got the same problem here. We got people hemming in, trapping in a coordinated terrorist attack and shooting at them with guns. And the police department, at the orders of whoever, saying, whatever. If we can't even get law and order at the local level, Dan, this is my point. How are we supposed to get it at the state or the federal level? That is how far behind the 8 ball we are. That is how deep the roots and the evil is going. And that is how hard it's going to be for good men like you and all of us, for good Americans to fight back. They're not just going to leave. They're not going to quit. And if we catch enough of them and say, "You're done," guess what? They're not going to change their fucking minds. You think communists are going to change their mind and go, "Yeah, you're right, man. Capitalism. Woo. Freedom. I love it. Yeah." Waving the little flags. "I love American flags. Yeah." They're fucking liars, and they always have been. They'll just go away until they have an opportunity again. That's what they're hoping. They want Trump to go away. What Trump needs to do now is declare a state of national emergency in Portland, in Seattle. Declare a state of national emergency in Chicago, Washington, D.C., New York, any city that this shit happens in. Do it. Send in the fucking army. Send in the Marine Corps. Send in the National Guard and fix it. Go in and take these people out. They're terrorists. We're in a domestic war with these people. We're sworn to protect against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Who are the enemies? Those who oppose law and order. Whether they hold office, wear a black robe, and swing a little wooden hammer, What a bunch of fucking pussies. I got the little baby fucking hammer. Deet, 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 deet. Take that. Sick of their shit. These fucking street scumbags. We need law and order, and it's not going to happen. Pam Bondi, talking tough is not going to do it. Kash Patel, right? Which eye are you looking at me with? Fix it. Do something. Nope, not. It's all bullshit. Oh, we caught a couple of bad guys and took their guns from them. Does everyone love us again? No. No, there's too much nefarious stuff happening. In any event, let's keep at it, Dan. Everybody, you've got to keep telling Washington, D.C., Epstein list, go arrest them. Antifa terrors, go arrest them. These Islamic imams, go arrest them, deport them. These Somalians that are here illegally, go arrest them and deport them. Anyone who is a traitor, a treasonous piece of shit like Ilhan Omar, who committed absolute tons of fraud, arrest her, denaturalize her, deport her dumbass. Mandami, the guy who wants to be the mayor, the commie mayor of New York City, he fucking lied on his. He's a communist. Out. Do you think that's going to happen, or do you think that's just a pipe dream? I actually think it's a pipe dream. I know it needs to happen, but government doesn't do what government should or needs to do. Government does everything else until they've exhausted every failure before they even try and do anything correctly. That's their track record, and here we are. All right, Mr. Uman. Who's up next? And it's Nancy Keg checking in with a $20 super chat donation. She says, just wanted to say thank you for everything. Semper John, to you and your future. Thank you, Nancy, very much. All of our futures, folks, right? The future is ours to win or lose. Our republic is ours to preserve or lose. It's not just me. It's not just Nancy. It's not just Dan. It's all of us. We have to participate. When good men do nothing, evil wins. Evil commits evil upon evil, and it'll even kill itself, folks. Evil will burn itself out and attack itself with no one else left. So we have one choice and one choice only. And it's going to be and end up being a very violent and bloody mess. Get prepared up here. I am not telling anyone to go kill or commit crimes or anything harmful or dangerous. Not doing that. I'm saying get ready. It is going to happen. You are not going to go out in your city, your town, your county looking for trouble. It is going to find you. And when it does, when it finds all of us, we have to take action. And once the bloom is off the fucking rose, once that door is kicked in, once the fireworks happen and the bells go off, that's when you go after every single instance of evil anywhere near you and eradicate it from the face of this planet. And I think that is what the elites are afraid of, is once we start, it's not going to stop. We've been pushed, backed up. We've been attacked. We've been spiritually attacked. We've been legally attacked. And I don't think it's going to stop. Once it starts, there's no reason to stop, because they will not. They will not. They will not give up. They will not go away. They will not quit. They'll just hide like rats, like cockroaches. Nancy, thank you very much. Thank you, Nancy. And please stay prepared and stay safe. All right, Mr. Uman, the moderator with the most. We got Trucker Hershey checking in, and he says another huge SIM card center discovered and shut down. 100,000 computer SIM card phone units ready to disrupt communications across the country. What the news is not saying, and the people not thinking, says Trucker Hershey, this is not just for that local area. They can be programmed to flood many cities at the same time with fake 911 calls and millions of text messages. This is part of the ability to do a DDoS attack, by just flooding any one website or multiple websites with pings and trying to get in. They can shut down. They can also use all of these devices to hack. They can coordinate them to hack into banks, hack into government offices, hack into corporations, hack into manufacturing, hack into the electric grid, everything. Right? What is artificial intelligence? What is a supercomputer? It's having enough chips, enough computer chips, enough RAM, enough processing speed, enough coordinated attack. And that's what these centers were. Now, I don't know who exposed them. I don't know who found them. I know the government, the federal government, is going to love to take credit for it because that's what they do. They take credit for everything that, well, someone else did. I've seen this too many fucking times, my friends. Too many times where someone does something good and they get shoved aside and someone else steps up and takes credit. And then they get shoved aside and then someone like Kash Patel or Pam Bondi or Dan Bongina shows up. And they'll stand in front of the camera and says, yeah, we got him, woo! I doubt it was them. Well, why do I say that? Because the FBI knows who the killers are. They know who the bad guys are. They know who is threatening churches. They know who's threatening businesses. They know who's threatening white people. They know who's threatening everybody. They're monitoring everybody's fucking phone calls, texts, messages, emails. They're monitoring it all. And then they pretend like they don't fucking know. They pretend like they don't know the Muslims are planning a fucking violent takeover. They're pretending like they don't know the transgender perverted fucking army out there is armed and ready to kill. They pretend they don't know anything about BLM or anything about Antifa. It's just an idea. Well, an idea that keeps murdering people, literally destroying property, terrorizing people. Yet all we get is a proclamation that they're a terror group. Where's the mass arrests? You know who they are. Well, I'm glad that they found these cyber attack sites, because that's what they would be used for, a variety of different cyber attacks. Anyways, yeah, imagine flooding the phone lines, filling the system. That's what they can do. Hey, Mr. Uman, we got some more super chats out there, I think. Let's do it. And we got Boomer. He's back with a $20 super chat donation. He says, hey, if you look at the rapid decline of the West, meaning Western civilization, Canada, the U.S., Australia, New Zealand, England, even Europe is considered the West, right? If you look at the rapid decline of the West, just over the last 30 years, just another 10 of the same would spell disaster. Just call it geometric progression. Yeah. It is exponentially growing, right? It starts very small, and then the wedge of power, control, and destruction gets wider as time progresses, right? So year one, it's this much. Year two, right? 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 2 is 4. 4 and 4 is 8. 16, 32, 64, 128. See where we're going with this? 252. It just gets bigger exponentially faster, as Boomer's describing. So what started out as just a little thing, and it is just fucking huge now. Here to here. There we go. That's what's happening. That's how they're doing it. It is geometric. It is exponential. It is mathematical to watch the growth. Another 10 years, all of a sudden, I mean, and it's so bad. And Boomer, I think the point can also be made that people waking up, it is also happening faster. Like some people are just now waking up and they're like, holy cow. And they want to tell everyone, it's like, dude, where you been? We've been literally telling you. I've got family members. I got friends. I was talking to a business associate who's in Chico, California. And she was like, oh my God, I woke up because I had kids. She had kids. That's what woke her up. Had kids. And said, you know what? I can't believe it, right? And just, pow. It's like, I've been doing this shit since the early fucking 90s. Doesn't make me better than anyone or smarter. It's just, I got a wake-up call. But the more evil it gets, people should be saying to themselves, this is beyond comprehension. Just in the last 5 years, look at how much bigger the problem has gotten, from BLM and the racism, the Muslims. Look at all the problems we're having with Israel now, politically trying to control our country. The European Union trying to control our country. Even a fruitcake, Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, the unelected, illegitimate leader of Ukraine, telling the president of the United States and America what we have to do. That is how bad it has got. Imagine another 10 years of this if we weren't fighting back, if we weren't standing up. And it's going to get worse. Everything has to run its course. You know when you're catching a cold and you're like, oh man, I feel a cold coming on. Oh yeah, like a coronavirus. You're catching a cold. You're like, okay, I'm going to start drinking lemon juice and hot toddies. Well, that's what I do. I start taking the cold medicine. I'm going to nip this thing in the bud. And it still just fucking hits you and knocks you down. And you're like, man, this got worse than I thought. That's where we're at now. Some of us, we got the cold. We knew it was coming. Other people are just now getting the symptoms. They're like, this sucks, man. Not feeling good, man. This is not good. Man. You know, don't like it. I'm getting the cold. Yeah. Look how bad it is. They're getting hit with it hard. Pow. We're all hit with it, but it's got to get worse. Right? Taking a couple NyQuil is not going to solve the cold. Might reduce the symptoms, which is all we're doing right now. We're fighting the symptoms. The root cause is literally the roots below the ground. The root cause, right? A lot of bushes, you can cut them off at the ground. You come back the next season, the fucking plant is growing up again. You're like, didn't I kill you? No, the roots. You have to kill it in the roots. That means the LGBTQ pedophile movement. It has to be killed all the way to the roots and pulled out. Same with BLM, same with Antifa, same with anything that is anti-American. It has to be removed. Foreign involvement in our government, it has to be removed. Not by any other means except by the roots. That means totally and fully. It needs to be exposed. It needs to see sunlight. It needs to dry up, wither, and absolutely go away. That's my message, and I'm sticking to it. Woo! Okay. I know we've got a lot of great topics. Ooh, man, who is up next on the Prepared Mind channel? I've got a ton of stuff to talk about. But we got Courageous Cat checking in with a $10 super chat donation and writes, if a conservative ever did what the libs do on a regular basis, they would be thrown in prison immediately. It's really ramping up in the UK. It truly is. The United Kingdom, England, which means Ireland and Scotland and Wales, they're arresting people now, not just for writing dangerous, harmful, radical, violent things, but for any criticism of Islam, of homosexuals, of anybody. You're being arrested. Some children and people are having the police show up at their house because they merely observed or looked at a tweet. The government is now sending out warnings saying, be careful what you read, be careful what you write, threatening them. Meanwhile, Muslim gangs are continuing to kidnap and gang rape white Christian girls. Meanwhile, these radical invaders, they don't have, over in England, they do not have Mexicans and Venezuelan gangs. They don't have that. They don't have trans Tifa out on the streets. It's all Muslim gangs stabbing people, robbing them, stealing their property, stealing their cars, threatening them. And when they can't find any British to fight, they fight each other with knives and sticks and swords. Unbelievable. If, as Courageous Cat says, if we ever did anything remotely like what they're doing, we would be instantly arrested, thrown in prison, fucking key thrown away. We still have Republicans in jail, Americans in jail from January 6, 2021. It is now October 5th, 2025. They're still in prison, folks. It is a political prison, a sham event put on by Nancy Pelosi, the FBI, who had 273 agents there for crowd control. The FBI has never been used for crowd control in its life, its existence. Yet now, the fucking FBI is saying they were there for crowd control. I didn't see them. All I saw were violent thugs that looked like ATF. And I saw Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police assaulting people, beating the shit out of them, and even killing them, punching women in the face, throwing people off the balconies, literally. And then all of a sudden turning nice, opening the doors, inviting people in, taking pictures and selfies with them, saying, go ahead and walk this way, go on tour. Entrapment. They staged fights and attacks and arrests. Unbelievable. Well, thank you, Courageous Cat, for all of the great support. Thank you very much. You know that asshole I told you about that fantasized about killing children? He wants to be the Attorney General in Virginia. He has now said, this Democrat communist piece of shit, that he's deeply, deeply sorry for fantasizing about killing Republican lawmakers, urinating on his grave. He's deeply, deeply sorry. For what? For getting caught, for being exposed. He is a liar. Democrats are liars. Republicans are liars. Bureaucrats are liars. Mainstream media are liars. How do I know? Because shit has not gotten better. Criminals, folks, criminals, they run the streets. Judges run the bureaucracy. Epstein clients are making billions off of our hard work, and nothing is getting fixed. Fix it. I know Trump wants to send in the National Guard. Fucking do it. Quit warning. Quit giving them notice. Just fucking do it. Call the units up. Deploy them. That's it. When I was a Marine, they didn't say, hey, yeah, Lebanon, Syria, if you don't knock it off, we just might send over the Marines. They just made a call. Tell John to pack his shit and to go to the flight line. That was it. That was it, folks. John, go to the flight line. There's no warnings. Fuck, by time I get back. And that is just now making it on the news. Things are not getting better. That's how we know nothing is being done. Don't give them warnings. Just fucking do it. I mean, literally. I'm tired of these warnings and these trial balloons, right? The Keystone pussies. I mean, the FBI. They are a bunch of Keystone cop pussies. They're now considering a public relations show type arrest. Well, they're saying they're considering arrest. It's a public relations gimmick. Arresting James Comey. And they want to use, quote, large, beefy agents, quote, in full kit, meaning uniform, body armor, bulletproof vest, guns, etc., including Kevlar vests. Oh, Kevlar vests. Just do it. Stop talking. Just do it. Stop talking. They're calling everybody Trump, Stephen Miller. Everybody is a fascist. Fascist, 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 fascist. The Democrats are the fascists. Oh, and the Rhino Republicans too. They're the fascists. They're the bad guys. And speaking of Stephen Miller is the he's the deputy chief of staff for Trump. And he is a very sharp mind. He's the guy that looks like Squidward, right? He says it's time to unleash state power against the rampant left-wing terrorism ravaging America. He says it's time. Do you guys agree with that? Yes or no? And by the way, we're almost up to 400 people live. Share the internet address. text, write, call, emails, whatever. Your friends, family, tell them to watch this fucking video. There's a lot of information here that I bet they haven't heard. Now, do you think the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, who's been called a fascist a million fucking times, and they're hoping he gets assassinated, he says it's time to unleash state power against rampant left-wing terrorism ravaging America. Is he right or is he wrong? I say he is 100% wrong. That's my opinion. I say he is wrong. It is way past time to do as he suggests. It's way past time to take action. Stop waiting for it to get worse. We're there already. He is right. We have rampant left-wing terrorism, and it is ravaging portions of our country, and it is waiting to be unleashed even more. Right? It's way past time, Mr. Miller. He says it's time to unleash it. It is way past time. They've had an opportunity to the left to make their statements, to make their point, to get their story out there, but they're not interested in talking. They're interested in hurting people, in destroying things, in lighting things up in fire. That's what they want to do, and that's what they are doing. You want to stop them? When they're committing this thing called mayhem, you shoot them. They want to commit arson, you shoot them. They come at you with Molotov cocktails, you shoot them. Period. If they're looting, you shoot them. Those are the old rules, folks. When America obeyed the rules, when criminals were scared, it's because they would be shot for committing any of these fucking crimes. Looting, arson, attempted murder. These people are all doing just that. They're threatening murder. They're attempting murder. It is time. It's way past time. And I'm not saying Stephen Miller is bad, folks. He doesn't have the power. He's a spokesman. And it's time to unleash national, state, and local power to put down these fucking dogs, to squash these cockroaches that are committing terrorism across America. Try it in Polk County. Fucking try it, Polk County, Florida. I know that Sheriff Grady Judd would have a fucking field day planting these people. Try it anywhere in Florida. Try it anywhere in most of the country. Isn't it amazing that in Portland, Oregon, the police chief won't help ICE? In fact, the police chief has all the appearances of being the leader of Antifa based on his, well, the rest of his life, other than just being the police chief. Shocked? Surprised? Well, don't be shocked. Don't be surprised. Don't be shocked. Don't be surprised, folks. If you've got something to say, super chat button right up there. Down below, we've got also Venmo, CashApp, PayPal. That's how you get to have your question on here. Right? And you get to ask the world. You get to bring up the comments. Past, present, future, philosophical, historical, whatever your observation. Get it into us. You got the super chat. You got this way. I want to hear what you're saying. And we are, of course, always, folks, trying to cover every topic we can. That's why Sunday Night Live is 2 hours. Not one, but two. So, how about this? I want to tell you about the left-wing violence. Last week, what did we have? A conservative reporter was in Portland covering for their news, was arrested by the police. Oh, yeah. Arrested. But they did not arrest nor stop Antifa from committing violent crimes. And then the Portland Police Bureau is blaming not Antifa, but blaming a conservative journalist who was attacked by Antifa. This conservative journalist, a different one, is a she. It's a woman. The Portland police are blaming a woman who happened to be conservative for the attack, the violent attack that the police are saying she instigated. Well, how did she instigate it? Simply being there, her mere presence was enough to justify and allow an Antifa violent attack. Her fucking face is punched in, black eyes. Oh, same thing's going on over in London, in England, right? If you show up anywhere near all these ridiculous, violent, terrorist Muslims, you can be told to leave. You could be arrested because you're upsetting them. Oh, heaven forbid. Let's not upset the fucking low IQ morons. Anyways, let's go back to Portland now, right? A woman, small and frail, no guns, probably a camera and a notepad, right? She's blamed by the police and they don't arrest anybody. I guess that means that if someone beats Antifa to a bloody fucking pulp, beating them within an inch of their fucking lives, they asked for it, right? They don't get to play victims. I mean, it's just, all we have to do is incite somewhere. We just have to be somewhere we shouldn't, and it's okay to beat the fuck out of somebody and beat them into a bloody pulp within an inch of their lives, just like in Cincinnati. Not at an Antifa event, not at a BLM event, not at a Muslim event, not at an LGBT pedophile event. It was a fucking music festival. And somebody happened to be in the wrong part of town, I guess. And their skin tone, they just didn't have enough melanin. And they were attacked. And the city council is pressing charges against the victims of the beating. So, yeah. I guess if anyone gets in my way, they instigated it. And I'm okay to beat the shit out of them. I didn't say if they attack me or hurt me or anything. I guess they just have to be around me and I can beat the hell out of somebody because they asked for it. I'm going to say this, folks. Do not tell me that the Jim Jones juice, the VAXXX, and all the boosters, don't tell me that that hasn't cooked the brains of these Democrats literally. They're fucking literally losing their intelligence. Period. How can a fucking judge sit up there and go, I'm in charge of the country. Bang, bang, bang. The president can't do his job that he's fully authorized to do by the Constitution, the statutes, the law. That's where these people are at. You can't tell me they're not fucking nuts. It's her fault. She instigated the violence, so let's not arrest the crime. Literally, the criminal action is allowed. Well, I had a wallet full of money. I didn't tell anybody, but since I got this shit beat out of me and my wallet taken, it's my fault for, I guess, looking like I had a fucking job. Are the police going to say that if I get beat up and mugged and fucking have my shit stolen? Crazy business, folks. Hey, man, let's do it. Who do we have out there wants to talk to us all? We got Chicago Hood, and he says, chaos is a spirit. The protests with drums, bells, masks, and chanting are nothing but satanic rituals. That is quite an interesting observation. The chaotic noise, the chanting, it is not wholesome prayer. It is not being done with goodness in their hearts. When these idiots, these left-wing fucksticks, go out and get in the streets with their signs, their bullhorns, what are they doing? They're there to promote evil. And they know it. They tell us, we're going to kill conservatives. Everyone gets to die like Charlie Kirk. The children need to be killed too. In fact, abort all your children. Destroy America. We're going to steal all your shit and we're going to move into your houses because we're a bunch of communist fucks. There's no good in that. That is pure, unadulterated evil. Expect more. Truly expect more. I tell you, folks, it can be fixed, though. You know, our country used to be a place. Had law and order. We had branches of government, and they all had their specific things they handled. We call that the checks and balances, right? The three branches of government, checks and balances. Checks and balances don't truly exist if the judicial branch cannot be checked and balanced. I think it's time that we force Washington, D.C. to ignore the bullshit and take action. Impeach and remove judges. Make America a republic again. No more judicial dictators. President Bukele has called it again and again. Chin Music says, hey, John, newsflash. South Carolina Judge Diane Goodstein's home is burning down from an apparent explosion. All right, Chin, I'm doing the show. Is Diane Goodstein a Democrat or a Republican? What's Diane Goodstein's politics? I can take a guess already, but the fact that the house is burning in an apparent explosion makes me think something else. There's two other possibilities out there, folks. Two other possibilities. One of them is that she's a Republican and she's being attacked by Antifa and BLM. North Carolina right now is having a soul-searching moment. That's where that little blonde Ukraine refugee from war was stabbed in the neck violently by a recidistic, repeat offender, violent felon who was let out by a judge, a Democrat judge who wasn't even an attorney, has no judge experience, just in charge. Right? There's your citizen control. Stabs her in the fucking neck and goes, I got the white girl. I got the white girl. There's big trouble there. Or, folks, it's Republicans and Judge Goodstein is not very good and the right is attacking. I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. And by the way, understand that Democrats will attack Democrats. They'll commit terrorism against their own party if they disagree with them over anything, and especially if they can make Republicans look like they're responsible. Oh, yeah. Yep. They're trying to do that. The Democrats are all over social media lying. And, well, if you say anything is Republican, they're now removing channels, removing check marks. And, in fact, on X, we have removed our subscription there. There is no longer a blue check mark at the Prepared Mind on X. Fuck them. If they're going to let Israel, the European Union, and Democrats tell us what free speech is, I'm not going to give money. I'm not going to support it nor have a subscription to it, period. Elon Musk needs to step up because they're now blaming murders on people and saying they're Charlie Kirk supporters. Literally. That's where they're at, literally. Thank you, Chin Music. You dig into that some more. Get us some more facts if you can. Mr. Uman, let's do it. We're past the 90-minute mark, and we got Dan the Man Erickson, ka-chow, with a 50-56 super chat donation. That means I get a scotch. An 18-year Glenfiddich single malt scotch. Delicious. Also keeps the old mental gears lubed up so I can keep doing this for 2 hours. Good golly, Miss Molly, I tell you, I need all the help I can get. We need all the help we can get, and this always goes a long way. Thank you, Dan the Man, for the super chat. Scotch. Like mother's milk. Dan says, being censored, changing one word. Watch this. I'm gonna put it back into English. The communist is getting way too far ahead of themselves. The communists in this country have been trying to take your pew-pew, but to no avail so far. Pew-pew being a gun. The best communist has a 5.56 in diameter hole in the bucket. Is that it for Mr. Dan there, Uman? Okay, very good. I will address this. There's a saying when I grew up. There was a saying when I was a Marine. There was a saying going all the way back to World War II and even before, that the only good communist is a dead communist. The only good communist is a dead communist. One set of bankers, folks, funded the Nazi war machine and economy. Another set of bankers was against it, and they funded the effort to turn the Nazis into the bad guys and also fund the move to get European Jews to go to Israel, create a new nation state, calling it Israel, even though they aren't really sons of Israel. They're communists, folks. They're communists. They are getting far ahead of themselves. They've been trying to take our guns, and they cannot. In fact, the more of this ridiculous shit happens, the more evident it is that the judges will not rule against the Second Amendment. You want to know why? Because they don't want to end up with a 5.56 diameter hole in their bucket, making them, kick the bucket. Bucket, head. They don't want it. Bureaucrats are going to learn, my friends. Politicians are going to learn, my friends, as well as Antifa and BLM and the LGB pedophiles and the Muslims. They're all going to learn. This is America. Yes, people will turn in their guns. Yes, people will lay down. Yes, people will lock themselves in their homes. Yes, people will go get their shot. Yes, people will do as they're told. Yes, people will let their kids be harmed. Yes, 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 and yes. But not all of us. Not all of us. A bunch of, corn-fed, real live Americans are joining the military again because they said no more fucking faggots, no more trannies, no more cross-dressers, no more drag queens in the military. You should be out. And I wish they would do a better job and a faster job of getting them the fuck out. Pete Hegseth went, and he had all of his generals show up, general staff, in Quantico, Virginia. And I did see one sergeant major sitting in there of the Marine Corps. I was like, well, he's got a lot of stripes for an officer. Anyways, he told him, no more of that bullshit. No more dudes in dresses. You will get fit. You will get trim. You'll shave your fucking beards. You will look like a uniformed military. You will be in physical shape. We will not lower our standards so the unqualified can get into positions where others are going to rely on them to do the job properly. That's done. No more rules for girls. If you're going to be infantry, you will do everything to the minimum standard and more. And so people are joining the military, and they're Americans. In other words, they need to purge the communist pieces of shit out of the military. More than just the trannies and the gays and the drag queens and the fruitcakes. They need to go after the communists. General Milli Vanilli, General Milley, piece of shit, is still influencing and affecting the Pentagon. Remember, Obama fired a ton of generals. Did the media cover it? No. Was I aware of it? Yes. Could I do a fucking thing about it? Not a chance. Fired, removed from command, retired, forced out general staff and replaced it and promoted communists into those positions. And a lot of them are still there. Can you imagine putting on the uniform of the United States Army with your fucking lipstick and your fishnet stockings and your little kitten heels and walking into the Pentagon and thinking it's fucking normal? That's how sick these people are, folks. That's how much they laugh at us as they destroy this country. I'm telling you, hey, Big Dan, thanks, man. I'm telling you what, the only good communist is a dead communist. That is going to come back. And who's going to start it? The communists. Who's going to start it? Antifa. Who's going to start it? The Mexican drug gangs, the Venezuelan drug gangs. Who's going to start it? The Muslims. Who's going to stop? We're out here going to our jobs, making money, taking care of our families, paying our taxes, being good humans, and this is what we get. We turn our backs. We trust government. You cannot trust government. Not a bit. You cannot trust government. Look what it's done. The only thing stopping it and slowing it down is a semblance of recognition of this document, the U.S. Constitution. But more than that, I think they fear the Declaration of Independence. God, man, Declaration of Independence, then the U.S. Constitution, and then government. If they wipe the Constitution away, we can put up the Declaration of Independence and go, just who the fuck do you think you are? I mean, seriously, folks, go stand in front of a mirror. Wherever your mirror, stand in front of a mirror and look into it as if you're talking to Gavin Newsom or Jabba Prickster or Kathy Hochul or Gretchen the Grinch Whitmore or that fruitcake transgender-looking freak in Oregon or Maine, and go, who the fuck do you think you're talking to, right? Get the look on your face. Get angry, because that's what it's going to take to deal with these fuckheads, right? An Oregon, low-life Oregon judge is going to block Trump's National Guard deployment to Portland. Just who the fuck do you think you are? Warning of a constitutional crisis. Constitutional crisis is when citizens or law enforcement officers are allowed to be attacked and arrests are not made. Trump needs to quit asking permission to do his fucking job. Period. 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 All right, man, who's next on the Prepared Mind channel? We got Chris Campbell checking in. And he says the judge blocked Trump Department of Justice from accessing voting data. Why can the Department of Justice not access and investigate a crime? Voting data is not top secret. Voting data is not a national secret. It is public record. That judge should be impeached, if not arrested right away for obstruction of justice. How easy is that? Obstruction of justice. Go arrest that piece of shit. Just like the dumb fat bitch who let the illegal go through her office and out the escape hatch, because judges have them, folks. Judges have escape hatches in their fucking offices. Back doors. A way to get out just in case someone comes in and starts shooting up the fucking courtrooms. Why? Because judges are corrupt, crooked pieces of shit. Oh, there's good ones, of course. But there's a lot of corrupt pieces of shit. Oh, wait, John, how dare you say that without some evidence? Oh, how about the fucking judge who is running a sex trafficking scam out of his fucking judge's office, and the sheriff, not a deputy, the sheriff shows up, goes to his office, his chambers, sees the judge sitting in the desk. On his phone is the judge conversing with his daughter, the sheriff's daughter, and the sheriff puts a fucking bullet through him and kills him. That, my friends, is Old West justice. I'm not glorifying it or glamorizing it. It is what it is. These judges are corrupt. They're obstructing justice. They're committing acts of injustice. Oh, yeah. It is not going to get better, folks. Not like that. Not quickly. Nope, nope, nope. The judge blocked the Trump Department of Justice from accessing voting data, evidence of a crime. You get in the way of a crime, you are committing a crime. The judge that helped an illegal escape was arrested, has been charged, and found guilty. That is justice. Unbelievable. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate that. And the left is calling for violence. I'm calling for justice. The left is calling for murder. I'm calling for justice. I am not glamorizing death and destruction. The liberals do. In fact, a drag queen an Austin, Texas city commissioner was caught saying Charlie Kirk's death was, quote, a product of his own rhetoric, and also fuck Charlie Kirk and fuck Donald Trump. This is an Austin, Texas commissioner who I guess is also a fucking drag queen. There's your LGB pedophile. right there. You got Muslims calling for the death of Americans, calling for global intifada, which is global jihad. Know who wants that? Know who supported it? Know who tweeted and wrote about it? Said they wanted it? Political candidate, New York City, Mandami, a foreigner with no qualifications for the job of mayor, born in another country, comes here, lies about his political affiliation, is a communist, and is running for mayor, and nobody is fucking stopping it. The election commission should be sued if they do not stop him. They should be sued. And if they interfere and do not do their job, arrest them. Fucking arrest them for allowing a crime to take place, for allowing election fraud, for allowing somebody to stay in this fucking country who should be arrested and deported. I'm sick of the waiting. I'm sick of the watching. I'm sick of these fucking weirdos and perverts and freaks and religious dumbasses. In fact, in Portland, Oregon, they're planning an emergency naked bike ride. A naked bike ride to protest Trump and to protest immigrations and customs enforcement. But not just a naked bike ride. It's an emergency. Quick, everyone, strip your clothes off, get on a bike and pedal. That'll fix things. Anything to, I guess, expose yourself to a child, that's what Democrats like. Bunch of sick motherfuckers. Mr. Ooman, we got 10 minutes left in the show. And I have to say this. As long as there's super chat donations, I'll stay here past the 2-hour mark and keep going. There's a lot to talk about, folks. It is a nasty world out there. And Boomer is back. He's got 2 out of 3. I don't know if we're going to get a hat trick out of him, but Boomer normally does 2 super chats. He says, hey, they had no problem with taking out the Fenians during a civil rights movement. Yet today, the leftists run rampant. The Fenians. LBJ, right there. The Texas VP become president. They turned the National Guard loose and killed people. They killed looters. They killed rioters. They even killed protesters. No problem. Oh, it sparked outrage, of course. But it sure stopped a lot of the problems, didn't it? We have a lot of the same groups here today, folks, under different names, but the same mentality, the same anti-American belief system. The Black Panthers, other militarized groups. Right now, a lot of people are just segregationists. They're like, I just don't want to be part of this anymore. So you got black groups saying, let's buy a bunch of property. We're going to be self-sufficient. Yay! Everyone's happy for that. A white group says, hey, no more of this, no more of that. And they're racists. Right? You can't even disassociate yourself, much less get active without one group or the other wanting to kill you. But the Trump administration, I think, is using a very light hand. It's a light hand. I wish they would get hardcore because I'm ready for it. Up here, I've been waiting for it, wanting it to happen because I am a problem solver. You don't win a war by dropping leaflets on the enemy. They're like, oh, great, more toilet paper. We had a shortage. Right? That doesn't work. You don't win a war by being nice, using kind words and saying, it's fine. You can have that country. No, you can have that country. You can take over that. You can take over that state, that city, that government. They're not going to be satisfied. You see, the enemy is only satisfied when they've killed everybody and taken everything. That's it. That's how that works. The only way to stop them is to kill them. They will not quit and go away. So that is the impasse that we're at until this becomes completely 100% kinetic. If you get my drift, it's going to have to get there. I don't want it, but it's going to have to get there. And they're promising it. They're promising it. I laughed 8, 9 years ago, 7, 6 years ago, going, these fucking leftist idiots, they don't know. They don't seem to understand that there are 750 million guns in this country. And probably 740 million of those guns are owned by Republicans and veterans and sportsmen and patriots. Maybe several million guns are owned by left-wingers, but they're idiots. It's not going to end well for them. All right. Hey, Mr. Uman, who do we want to... All right. Hey, it's Blue Cord Devil. Pow, checking in, and a $50 super chat donation, no less. That button right up there, or Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. That's how we do this. That's how you get on the screen or get me to read your email out loud. But $50 buys me a scotch. It also goes a long way to making sure the channel stays alive in a literal sense. What I mean by that is lights, camera, action. The cost of servers, subscriptions, services that we do to keep this show here. Yeah, I just saved, I think, what is it, $8 a month by getting rid of the X blue check mark, because I'm not going to support an organization that fucking hates us or allows those that hate us to run it. In any event, Blue Cord Devil, here is, oops, I poured it a little heavy. Whoops-a-daisy. Like mother's milk. Thank you, Blue Cord Devil. And he says, peace and prayers, John, Jolene, Uman, and everyone else. You see, yes, peace. I want peace. I want peace for everyone, not just white people that look like me. Everybody, I wish for peace. But I prepare for what is actually happening. Peace and prayers, but get prepared. Blue Cord Devil says, watch your six, which is watch your back. Stay calm. Stay armed. All evil needs to win is for good men to do nothing. Well stated, Mr. Blue Cord. Well stated indeed. To do nothing means to, well, not get food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine. Means of self-defense. Right? To do nothing means to not know who is around you in your world, what kind of threats you face, problems, what your resources are you have. Right? To do nothing means to be silent. And I won't say silence is violence. I'm going to say silence is going to cause people to get hurt. Being silent will cause more harm than good. Let's just say there's a room with 150 people in it. 50 of them are Antifa, left-wing, scumbag, communist, anti-American fucksticks. The other 100 are good Americans. Nonpartisan, good Americans. And I go, there's 50 terrorists right there. We outnumber them. We are stronger than them. We're smarter than them. Everyone, I need you to get prepared. Let's just say all 100 get prepared and we take action and we take care of the problem. Great. Good men did something. Well, what if only half of the 100 got the items that are needed, prepared themselves mentally to understand who the enemy is? Well, if only half the good men do anything, well, now it's 50-50. Now their odds are better. Now their destructive capability is better. Not only will they punish and kill anyone that opposed them, they'll go and kill everyone else for not supporting him. Imagine, if you will, only 20 out of the 100 get prepared, learn what they need to learn, and take action. Now it's 20 versus 50. Those aren't great odds. It's not great odds. In the American Revolution, only 20% of the country participated in the revolution against the tyrants who were murdering, who were raping, who were killing, stealing, lying, putting people in jail. The British redcoats, the governors, and the King of England. Only 20% stood up to them and fought. 3% fought. The other 17 did what they could to support them with money, food, weapons, etc. And they won. 20% defeated the English, the British. right? Because good men, 20% of the population was a lot of men and women, Americans, and they did it. We need our good men and women to do it also. Thank you, Blue Core Devil. I'm going to count you amongst them. Mr. Uman, who's up next? What do we got? Chin Music. And he says, $9.99, paying for Chicago Hood to Super Chat. Well, okay then. Uh-oh. Well, that was Blue Cord Devil again. I was like, what? Chicago Hood says, hey, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Prepare mentally and spiritually for SHTF, the end days. Now, what I don't know is I don't know if this is the end of days, if we're about to have the revelations or the revealing of God's plan, the apocalypse, right? Our eyes open. I don't know if this is the end. A lot of people believe it is. At the end of every century, it comes up when people like Hitler or Stalin or Mao or other communist fucks come up, all socialists and authoritarians, right? The end of days. What I think we're seeing is the end of an era and the start of a new. And I pray, folks, for good things to happen, right? But we can overcome evil through our faith, our integrity, our testimony for all things good is important. Having faith and knowing that good can and should and will prevail, but at a cost. At a cost. And yes, some people, right, loved not their lives unto death, meaning they stood up for what's right at all costs. So being prepared, you have to understand death comes to us all. Death comes to us all. Big and small, powerful, meek, death comes to us all. But will you live on your knees or will you stand like a free man? Not everyone can fight like a fucking soldier or Marine. Not everyone has the money to support the movement, but we can all play our parts and it will be enough to defeat evil. But it is not going to be easy. It is not going to be fast. It is not going to be bloodless because that is what we've gotten to now. The bloodlust of the left, the Democrats, the socialists, the communists, the anti-fascist fascists, the Muslims, the crazy screwballs in the World Economic Forum, the banking cartel, the Epstein types, the satanic bastards, the entertainment bastards. They want blood. They want blood sacrifice. They want chaos and destruction. I am praying that we can avoid that, folks. And can you imagine? Can you imagine if Trump goes all the way and if he must declare martial law to take care of these problems? Can you imagine all the liberal scum who will go to their cars and scream and cry into their phones till they're blue in their face or from their basements? Too bad. Law and order, truth and justice, and decency, morality should be and will be the rule of day. But where we're at now and where we need to be, there's a long, long distance between them. We've got a lot of SHTF between now and then. We truly do. Mr. Uman, how are we doing? We're at the 2 hour and 2 minute mark. How about that? Have we got more? It looks like we're calling it a show, folks. Get a good night's sleep. Pay attention to what's going on. Please be aware of your surroundings. You may not be a loudmouth like me. You may not be a target. But it happens. We've seen it. Every one of these wacko left-wing bloodthirsty groups, including the government itself, has demonstrated its ability and desire to commit crimes, to allow crimes, to push their agenda forward. And they always, always, always need victims. Don't become a statistic. Get prepared, because chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Semper Fi, to one and all, means always faithful. Faithful to what you believe, what you know is right in your heart. Get prepared, folks, because that's what I know is the right thing to do. And wake up others. I'll see you guys bright and early, a little too early for me, at 0 dark.